All right. I have resolved to continue Pollen for another session. This evening, I will play a bit more. As usual, don't have it fully set up and ready to go. That's what happens when I'm forced to use YouTube's live event system instead of the Stream Now system. I set a time that I want to start. I have to set a time for the live event, so I do that. And then that time comes, and it's like, I don't absolutely have to start the stream at that time. I can start it anytime I want, but I feel like I have to start it, even though I definitely don't, because there's nobody watching. There's no one waiting. There's no one anticipating that I need to accommodate. I just got done playing 2 hours of Hades. It was a game that was generously gifted to me last Christmas season by Free of Me. It's an action roguelike by the legendary Supergiant Games that have hit. They make games that are in well-trodden genres, but they do them with their particular style and methods, and they're all just, they knock it out of the park every single time. They've never made a bad game. And Hades is probably one of the best action roguelike games ever made. Just, I'm not a big connoisseur of action roguelites. There are many, many, many of them. The only one I've ever played was one of the ones that got the trend started, which is, of course, Rogue Legacy. Or if you're not trying to be fancy, Rogue Legacy. And I never actually finished it because I did not finish I was on the last boss. And after a few tries, I didn't get it, and I needed to go back and try it again. And that never ended up happening, so Rogue Legacy remains unfinished, I'm sad to say. That's the only one I've ever played. I've played a tiny, tiny bit of The Binding of Isaac. Hated it. I absolutely despise The Binding of Isaac. But Hades, I started playing it, and I just couldn't put it down. It was incredible. Just like, oh, you die, and then you're like, oh, man, I want to do just one more run. The weapons, it's got a variety of weapons that you can use. All of them feel so good to use. I don't know. I haven't really tried to break it down why the weapons feel so good to play with. But starting up the game, something about the way the weapons are designed, all of them feel satisfying. They feel impactful. Even the bow and arrow, the archery, feels good. It's hard to get combat systems right in games. I feel just it has to have a feeling of impact and of weight. It has to feel responsive. In a lot of games, they're missing something. Hades combat does not miss anything. All right, we're finally getting underway here. Skip. It's gonna be like 2 minutes before I actually start playing because of all the crazy load. Also, last time, I forgot about the fact that it resets all graphics to freaking low. I should be able to handle this because I, as of last stream, have returned to my QuickSync profile, so I'm encoding this live stream with Intel QuickSync. So, high GPU usage on the NVIDIA card will not impact the time to render the frame. So I played Hades for a couple days a year ago, late December 2019. And then I didn't play it at all in 2020. They did a full release a couple months ago, and I did not. I saw it, but I didn't get back into it. But I felt like getting back into it. I started a brand new save file, start from scratch. Why am I stuck turning? What's going on here? Is it? I do have my gamepad plugged in, but gamepad is gotta. Just gonna plug it. Got a bad USB connector. Okay, that's what it was. It stopped after I unplugged it. It's got a bad connector, and so it has to be. It's a pain to get it to actually connect through USB, and I have to keep it absolutely still in a certain position. And it was on the ground, but I think maybe the game has maybe one of the triggers was pressed slightly, and the game uses that as a way to turn, rotate. Okay, so I'm in the lab. It's pretty creepy looking. It's dark. We know that weird shit is going on in the game. But it is not a horror game, so there's no need to be too apprehensive, I think. So don't worry, stick with me. All 0 of you. I do wonder what that is over there. Let's see what it is. That is a bizarre material. Part of it looks like rock, part of it looks like glass, some sort of transparent substance. It looks pretty unique. Something is beeping over in this direction. Okay, this... Apparently I can punch this. I don't think I want to do that. I haven't read this before. Dr. Rebecca Jules. Panspermia and the comet that brought us life. This is a theory of abogenesis. A radical new theory that life originated outside our solar system and the consequences that holds. Yep. The theory of apogenesis. I've always thought it was abogenesis. You can probably say it either way. It's just abogenesis is a bit... It flows a little better off the tongue than abogenesis. Oops. So, was Karen using Vasily's lighter? Yes. We had it. This one must be where... She said she avoided the lab, but... When she did come to the lab, this must be where she slept. She was reading Kill Shot. Which I have already read myself. This is the 18th. I don't know who that is. It's not Ian Lem, or Ion Lem. This was January 18th. That's the day she disappeared, wasn't it? Pi Decimal's still here. So let's go check out... I wonder if this thing will still be operational. Check out the tape recorder. It looks like there's a tape in it. Somebody set the chair right there in front of the door. This is just broken. Even the lever has been removed. Let's give it a listen.
It is day 5 or 600 or maybe even a year. Who knows? I don't even get hungry anymore. I stopped eating weeks ago and nothing happened. I can't get out of here. I can't see my kids. I just want to go home. I have grown tired of this void. In time, and in my mind. I don't know what to do. And my heart has ceased to tell me anything anymore. It just hurts like hell. I think this is hell.
Some sort of purgatory at least.
I envy those who end up in hell with other people. I have taken the elevator all the way down. I've backed out so many times. This time, I will go all the way. I have gazed into the abyss long enough now. I'm going down there. I'm going to confront the cause of this all. I'm going home.
This is one of... Yeah, this is that weird music. She overwrote that. So, went down the elevator. What is this? Something will be going on with that, I think. Check the medical area. This is open, but I don't think it will go anywhere. I think it's all blocked off. Yep. What is that? Oh, it says Poetic Wine is now hosting my stream. Hello, Eincrou. Hello, thank you for stopping by. And thanks for the host. I couldn't see in the headset who the host was, but I have a little gap in the nose. I'm able to peek out and I'm able to see my other monitor, which shouldn't be displaying the game because I'm trying to save a little bit of CPU. Good thing I did because I could see that. Thank you. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I ate with family a few hours ago. So, figured maybe I'd come back to this, play it for a couple hours. Tomato, in scare quotes, soup. Ingredients: water, flavoring, tomato, and salt. Okay. I'll have to learn what that is later. There's a spacesuit. It's set up like it's sitting up. So it's a little bit creepy, kinda. Also, it looks oversized. Another tape player. And a ripped photo. So that's Karen's husband and part of Jessica. Why would that be here? Why would it be here? Let's take a listen. I don't know what those numbers mean. Love to say in chat, but it's nearly tomorrow. Yeah, it's pretty late. What is it, like 10:30? I don't know, I can't tell. But have a good night. Take care. I'll see you later.
I knew you had to bring that up. Like I said, there was nothing left for me in the crew quarters. But I felt too afraid to keep going. That needed to stop. So I blocked my way out. Now now the only way to go is forward. Yes, Patrick. It's clear where I need to go to end this.
Patrick is her husband.
I need to face the entity. I could also climb back through the air vents if I wanted. But to where? To the darkness I saw out there a week ago? Patrick, my love. I know how this will need to end. I have to go down there and face that thing. The door has been open all this time. All I need to do is step through it. I've been here, what, a year already? Of course I'm sick. I'm sick of everything. I'm sick of the ramen bars. I'm sick of the ramen beer. I'm sick of being alone. Oh, Patrick. I so miss Ethan and Jess. I miss the people I was here with. Even I and any stupid camera. I see the full couple, their cat, and I miss life, Patrick. I just want to go home. Why would I be recording this?
So I see what she did. She set up the spacesuit here in a sitting position and ripped the photo that had her, Patrick, and their 2 children. So it's just Patrick's head. Put it on the helmet so she could sort of imagine it was him. So she used him to sort of talk to, bounce ideas off of. Hormonal system is still here. That doesn't work anymore. All the tomato soup she's eaten. Oh, good. She's got her feminist reading, so she can keep her hatred of the patriarchy up, but she's so alone, maybe she'd be willing to accept the patriarchy just because it's other people. Anything new with this? I don't think so. Yeah, all these medical records are just out in the open. It's Amanda. It's Philip. That was Karen. Gotta be something of use in here. This thing is still here. Don't know what it's meant to be. Master and Margarita, we've read that one. Cat. Worming. These have all been opened up. Karen must have done that. Left this place a mess. So I'll say goodbye to Patrick. to see what else we can do in here. Okay, the control room is open. Or at least the hallway to it is. What did she do? So, back in the light world, everyone's name was here, except Karen's was crossed out. But here, she's been put in the dark world. She crossed out everyone except her. She's the only one left. And she drew some really interesting structures. Symbols. It's a that's several triforces. Many triforces creating a triforce. I've never seen that design. That actually is very cool how that looks. Healing the self through art therapy. Art therapy has been found efficient for victims of disasters, post-traumatic stress disorders, normalizing feelings, modeling coping skills, and promoting relaxation skills. In the psychoanalytic tradition, the therapist interprets the subject's symbolic self-expression as communicated through art and elicits interpretations from the subject. This self-help book functions as your therapist as you analyze the meaning of your art and the mental blocks which it represents. So she got into that. This magazine is still here. She got into that to try and cope with being alone and scared. And what's this? Rama. This is just one of the most atmospheric games I've ever played. The story is not told to you. That's why I say this is not a walking simulator. Walking simulators tell you a story. This one, you have to find it yourself. It's sort of realistic in that way. You are just in a place and you gotta find hints and clues on your own, just like it would be in real life. You gotta piece it together based on the evidence that's been left. I don't know how much I'd enjoy that if I was playing it 2D on a screen, but in virtual reality, it is very interesting. It's a very compelling experience. So that writing that was done on this table must have been done after Karen got sent out, and I think that's obvious based on what it said. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's not obvious, but it must have been before the world split, because it's not here. It is not here at all. Wow. She got increasingly aggressive and crossing out the days of the year 1995. This is just broken. Let's see if this will work. It does. Still don't know what these do, if anything. They might be there just for the sake of it. So I don't know. This doesn't seem to do anything. Doesn't change the direction of the beam. It doesn't change the intensity. Oh shit. So it gave me a save point. Now what happens if I impact this thing? So I'm guessing that's going to allow me to get to the reactor. Wonder why that didn't work in the light world. Okay. What happened there was my toe hit the power button on the surge protector. Oh, it was a hard shutdown. But it happened literally seconds after the game save, so no worries on that aspect, but now I gotta set it all up again. I don't know if YouTube was able to resume back, but yes, it did. Now I gotta set up. And it's using the same. I was able to get back in time. So it's using the same video. So Ticker Guy just said in reply to a Donald Trump tweet. Oh, great! I lost my frickin'. Lost my freaking. Oh, good. That download has to restart from scratch. It says that Yeah, gray. Like it said that it's able to resume, but no, it doesn't. It certainly does not. So I lost my directory opus blister. What a shitty thing to have happen. Shitty little stinking thing to have happen. Trying to get this clip that I wanted to get from Battlefield Earth. Because he said, "How do you plan to do that?" In reply to Trump, and this is one of the clips I've been waiting for a chance to use this clip because I knew it would be useful at some point, and finally, 2 months later.
How exactly do you plan to do that?
So I got two versions. One where I have text because I made a GIF of it.
How exactly do you plan to do that? How exactly do you plan to do that?
I used the text version. So, and how exactly do you plan to do that? That's what they say in the movie, Battlefield Earth. And he said, "And how do you plan to do that?"
How exactly do you plan to do that?
It's great. Finally. Wait, where did it go? There's someone else replying to that same thing. Oh, here it is. I'm going to see what the other replies were to him. And how do you plan to do that? It said there were 3 replies. One of them was me. It's only showing my video, my reply. I don't understand that. Like, so opaque.
How exactly do you plan to do that? 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 How exactly do you...
Yeah, he's not going to be terminated immediately. Doesn't produce any immediate effects. This is a problem. Like, yeah, Twitter is bullshit. They are using they're absolutely using their position to promote their beliefs and such. They're definitely coming up with rules that disproportionately affect their political opponents. And you had years to deal with it. You knew about it for years. And now, like in the last minute after the election already has occurred, where you got screwed by big tech manipulation and election interference, now you're saying it's a national security issue? You should have said that way earlier. Oh, great. Looks like you connected a new device. Would you like to set up your Rift? You know, this same thing happened before. A few days ago, I hit the power button and I was also using the Rift at the time. And the Rift setup was like, it was just lost because I don't know why the setup gets lost. Doesn't make any sense. So now I'm gonna have to set it up again, but I don't have to do that now. It's just gonna say that the Rift has not been set up for until I go and fix it. Okay, let me sit forward. Okay, in case anyone else joins the stream. Very nice and poetic wine to stop by. Would be shocked if you just stopped by to say hello. It was very nice, but I'd be shocked if I got it. Anyone to hang out with me here. Okay. Let's go try to get back into the game. Last played yesterday because it has now ticked over. And it is November 27th. Pull this down a little bit. Alright, show me the JFK video. I don't understand why it doesn't appear centered. Don't know how long this game is. I'm about to hit 5 hours in this playthrough. Angle it down even more. There we go. I don't know why I have the Oculus logo in the center of the panel on the right side of the overlay. Okay, so when it's saved, it did not save. What the heck was that? Something pop up here? No. But we've got the stream going. Oh, I'm gonna have to change the graphics again because it does not save your graphics. You can see the ambient occlusion coming on. Area lights. Lighting reflections from specific lights. Should only be used on high-end systems, not applicable in VR. I guess they couldn't get light shafts to render in 3D correctly. VAO. Superb contact shadows. Well, the GPU is 33% right now. High performance penalty. But it's such an important effect. Look at the difference. Parallax occlusion adds depth and detail to most surfaces. I think that must be a texture effect. Surprised the GPU usage is so low. $29% right now. Let's go through here, and I'm expecting the way to the reactor will still be closed. So it's actually not even possible to get up there. Stairway collapsed. Let's check the bathroom out. That's just a texture, but it's trying to give the impression that there's a part sticking out there. It actually obeys the lighting, even though it's just a texture. But that effect does not work in 3D. Sorry to say. Because I can see it's just flat. There's no... It's just a texture. But it would look just fine in 2D. So, I've read that before. Don't need to brush my teeth just yet. So there's no way up. It's gonna be through the fan. As expected. Oh shit, you're still on. Hi. Yeah, I wasn't on 15 minutes ago because I fat. So the phrase is fat finger when you press something accidentally. I'm going to modify it to fat toed the power button on my power strip. So I had to come back. Seated VR, yes. The game does support... I'll show you what they call it. It's almost like the Muncher made this game. They support hand controls. Enable if you have hand controllers and want to play with those. So it supports hand controls, but as I said the other day when I was playing this, I've got plenty of games that are hand controller only. So if I'm able to play a game and use my mouse and keyboard, I will go with that. Check out this. This is a really big air vent. Where does this go? Oh. Okay, so there is the object. Some sort of wristband. So I'll figure out what's going on with that later. Technically, it's more accurate than motion controllers. How so? That's where it came from. I want to go to the reactor. Oh, this does not get me there, but going to the light world will probably open a path in here. Somehow. If I had to guess, I think it's over here. If I had to guess, this will be open. Oh, this is the cat collar. I can hear the cat. Very distorted. All that's left of the cat is a black stain. This light. It's open. messed up. What does motion controller mean? They track motion, they track their own motion. What motion? Body, hands, feet. It's extremely vague and lacks definition. Hand controllers suggest plural controllers for hands. Therefore, a pair and implies hands. More accurate term, virtual hand controllers. Well, I don't know why exactly they've been called motion controllers. But if I had to guess, it's because that's what the controller on the Nintendo Wii was called. So they just used a familiar term for a familiar method of inputting controls through motion. Because that was the defining feature of that controller, even though it did have buttons. But I agree that there could be a more descriptive term for precisely what the controllers are, how they're used, and what they do. But then you get into too many syllables. Okay, this is where I came from. Just freaking maze-like in here. So this connects two ways. That is an opening that is closed. There's nothing there either. I'm not seeing anything except for the bees, which I have no answer to. Oh, there's one of the figurines. Oh, there's a ladder here, which I think I saw before, but I wanted to go explore the rest. Okay, open the hatch. Come on. We get a nice musical cue. Alright, let me catch up. Those fans look like fucking turbofan engine intakes. Yeah, the fans are pretty intense, huh? Weo Dude has stopped by. What is the point of this game? It's such a simple question, but I don't know. In terms of the game itself, without any reference to the external world, without any reference to the player himself, the point of the game is to get to the end. You're crawling around an event, yes. Well, actually, I'm standing in an event. It's the biggest vent you've ever seen, the biggest air vent you've ever seen. A term from the Wii days. Yep, still haven't gathered the point of this game myself. By the way, you should really disable Space Warp. I can see massive artifacts. The point to wander around in vents and ignore chat. Ahaha, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know I don't know what the point of any game is. If I was playing Mario and he asked me what's the point of this game, while I'm playing Mario, I will, what do you say? Get to the end, rescue Peach. But since you can't actually rescue Peach in Super Mario Brothers, that can't be the point of the game. Is the point of the game to collect a bunch of coins? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. It's like the most general question. Is the point of the game to have fun? The point of the game is to have fun with it. For the Space Warp comment, go watch your VOD after. It's pretty bad. So you're saying Space Warp is in effect? I can't read that FPS readout. Let's see if this works. That does not work either. Let's see, where was it? Here? No. I could not tell that Space Warp was in effect. But I don't want it to be. Good. Mirror screen, there it is. Let me see if that makes the overlay work. Okay, yeah, it's locking it to 45. But it looks perfectly fine to me in the headset. And I'll turn this down a bit. I'll turn that off. Turn that down. See if that puts it back up to 90. 75. 80. Need a little more. Maybe I have to turn that off. 75. I hate to turn that off, but that's probably gonna do it. Didn't really make much difference. So is it doing space warp right now? Do you see it on right now? I'm turning. And we'll do, let me catch up. Well, what's the character trying to accomplish according to the story is what I'm wondering. So, the character in the game was sent to the moon of Saturn called Titan, to this base that was created by the Rama Industries for the purpose of research. And the character was sent to replace a technician that went missing. When we get here, when he gets here to the station, he hears on the communications that the people that were left were very upset that the Rama Corporation had sent someone to the base. So from that, I have been thrust into an adventure in this abandoned base, trying to figure out what happened. And this is the most atmospheric game I've ever played. There is, other than the very beginning of the game, the first like 15 minutes, there's absolutely no direction given by the game itself. It's a matter of exploring, figuring out how to get to new areas, trying to notice all the little details and little hints that are strewn about the whole base to piece together what happened. This is a game that I've tried to classify. It's definitely an adventure game, and it is definitely not a puzzle game. There are no puzzles. There are some things you got to figure out, but they're not traditional puzzles that you find in adventure games like Myst and the such, and the like. It is also not a walking simulator, as I was saying earlier. It is not a walking simulator. It is not a narrative adventure game. This is just a place. There are things in the place. And it's like if you came here in real life, you wouldn't have voiceovers, you wouldn't have a quest log, you wouldn't have a mission log. You would just be here and you gotta try and find out what the hell happened. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is by finding clues and piecing them together. That's the kind of experience this is. I've never played anything really like it. What is this frame rate? It's at 49, so it's not stable, which is Which is fair enough, because it's a pretty good looking game. Looks very good in here. A lot of geometry. Good textures. Look at the striped blue border on the floor around the stomping pillars and turn. Don't turn with the mouse. Look down, turn head. Okay, it stopped doing it. So one of the points on the Steam page that they highlighted in the description is how immensely interactive the game world is. And that is true. Every object that should be, like, everything that's its own object that should be, like, that should be able to be picked up, if it was real, can be picked up. Control panels. Not all buttons are activatable, but some are. Most are. I mean, some aren't, but most are. You can even slide this thing for some reason. Online, online, online. These are offline. So Sector 2 has two things offline. And that is definitely reflected here. Also, you can't really see it in the Steam mirror capture that I'm using, but there is a helmet on the character. Right now, the visor is not down. The glass visor is not down, but I am still wearing the helmet and it is attached to my head. I think just the tiniest of the edge is visible in the Oculus capture. So this, I think, is the main entrance. See the bottom edge? Yes. So I think in the 2D version you're able to see more of it because there are some light indicators on it and they're barely visible. To be able to see them clearly, I have to force the headset in a certain way. There's one that says oxygen supply. Suit pressure. I haven't been able to figure out what the third one says. And then low battery. But I can't really see them too well in the headset. But they aren't important, so it's just there for effect. At least so far, it doesn't really matter. So before I press any buttons in there, I'm going to decontaminate. You don't have to, but I'm just going to be nice and clean. And this leads back. So This is what I need to get powered up. And we're just gonna say I'm still clean. Can't even imagine what these pistons would be doing in a reactor. So, let's see. How does this work? Okay, I'm able to do something with the frequency. Okay, one of the main problems is mouse cursor is not constrained to the game window. So I gotta be mindful of that anytime I do something where I have to slide the mouse a lot like this. So with these, the frequencies are all at the maximum level. Okay, there we go. Let's try to get this as far over as it will go. And get this as far over as it will go. Something like that. There we go. And it's saved. This might destroy the whole base. Let's see what happens. The base survived. Stir down very, very quickly and I'll see a lot of it. I'm not gonna... I'm not gonna whiplash myself, but... that is one of the things about the helmet. It's not... the movement of it is not one-to-one with my head. It lags behind a little bit, which is unrealistic. Alright. So. Cargo hold is now lit up. And what I need to do is lift that box blocking the doorway so I can get in and I can find who the corpse is there. Wonder if this does anything. Controls for the train, but nothing happening. Okay. Let's lift this box. Oh, I get a nice monitor view. Whoops. Z control. Oh. No, don't do that. It's magnetized to the other box too. Oh. I'm not going to get hired to do this job anytime soon. Alright, got it demagnetized for the moment. Magnetize. Lift. Oh my god. No. Good enough. I certainly hope there aren't any achievements associated with using that thing. Okay, now that I got light, do a little quick check. Delayed, but I don't think that's a VR comfort mechanic. Or, I think that's a VR comfort mechanic. Not the first time I see it. I think it's just... You're in space. And you wear a spacesuit. I think that's the reason it's there. Okay, so here is Rama Industries saying they were going to send a new technician, and that is me. Alright, and now who is this poor, poor fool? The head was actually crushed. So all the this was someone who died in a conventional manner. Everyone else was reduced to black goo. This is a normal death. Amanda Pole. Damn. Everything's checked off except base log control. I'm sorry, Amanda. But shouldn't have been under the... You shouldn't have been under the friggin' magnetic crane when it was in operation. You poor soul. Wheel Dude asks, a man to pole. I guess Amanda Pole kind of sounds like that. For some reason, the crew of the base calls her Amy. Amy is not a nickname for an Amanda. The nickname for Amanda is Mandy. I don't know what the deal is with that. Got a cassette player with no cassette in it. But I will be on the lookout for one. What is going on with this? These two things are stuck. Unfortunate. Workplace injury or murder? Let's see, who all have I seen the corpse of? Ion Lem. I've seen the corpse of Vasily. Ion Lem. Vasily Romanchek. And now Amanda Pole. So that leaves Amanda Pole's husband and is Karen the only other person? I guess Karen's the only other person. So I don't know what happened with Amanda. So far there hasn't been any hint of any violence or problems with like that with the crew. What can I do here? We got 2 tapes. Report, December 12th, 94. Bees. And here is the final key. And that's a checkpoint. Oops. There are 3 of us left. Technician Kowalski disappeared 2 weeks ago. Dr. Romanchek was killed yesterday. We have come to the conclusion that the object below has infected us somehow. It is much more capable than we first suspected. We have decided to destroy it and everyone exposed to it. Hopefully, our data will help people to understand the subject better. There should be no further attempts to land here. Signed, Dr. Philip Pole, Dr. Amanda Pole, and... why is that crossed out? It says Ion Lem. Oh, that's just his signature. going across it. So, the only person on this list I don't know what happened to him is Philip Pohl. I've not encountered him yet. They wanted to destroy themselves, so maybe Amanda used a very elaborate way of killing herself, but I don't know how that would have worked. Let's listen to the tapes. I'm building quite a collection here. Report from 1994. The future people think less. Wikipedia puts Amy as a short form of Amanda, but usually I've seen it used as a full name. Well, if Wikipedia says it, I'll defer to Wikipedia.
Philip Pohl, employee number 120140-923M. Location Titan, Base M. The research on the entity during the year 1994 has not given us much new information. We managed to extract a piece of the entity and bring it to the laboratory. But even under closer examination, the molecular structure could not be defined. Based on visual examination, the extracted piece seems to be growing slightly. The observation of indirect effects of the entity have proven much more productive. The growth of plants and bees and production of honey exceeded all estimations. The growth curve seems to be rather exponential than logarithmic. Considering the restricted amount of nutrition and space, this result could be groundbreaking. However, some initial observations of Titan have shown a decrease in its mass. We will require better gravitational and astronomical measuring equipment to prove this trend.
Yes, you have to wait for it to rewind. Okay. Bees.
Amanda Pohl, employee number 020650944F, location Titan, Base M. The number of bees and their productivity has experienced a lower level of growth than the growth curve of the plants would suggest. Also, the amount of honey produced does not correlate to the amount of pollen of the flowers. I suspect a rogue queen has made another hive somewhere. This could explain why the number of bees and honey production is lower than the growth curve predicts.
Okay. So it's possible that I missed that tape there. What is this one? Notes. I think I listened to this before, but didn't save or something. Oh, no, I haven't heard this before.
15% fertility rate. I saw some bees buzzing around the lab's vent. Someone has to check if they have a hive there. Probably the heat from the generator.
Oh, I have heard this. Yeah.
Electromagnetic and radiation measurements are average in hydroponics. I should look for another reason for the entity's effect on plants. Could the honey flavor and color be due to abnormal crystallization?
Okay, the rest of these is just music. So I don't want to listen to those now. How do they know the massive decreasing is they can't even measure the difference? Well, earlier there was there were notes written by someone, I can't remember who, but they said that the entity, don't really know what the entity is yet, they said that the entity appeared to be using the mass of the moon, Titan, as a that determines its power level, and it had maxed out the amount of effect it was able to have based on Titan. And so they are concerned that this entity, if it was to get to other planets, would be able to use those planets and consume them to grow in power. And that tape just then was only the second time I've heard that idea referenced so far. So I don't think there's anything else here. Benches. Nothing on the benches. There's a highlighting effect on things that might be of interest, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So I think now there's not really anything else to do except this. We don't know what the connection is between the entity and the plants and the bees yet. Oh, we gotta turn the keys, of course. So, here it is, the cave that I've heard so much about. I've got some suits. Hazardous material identification kit. But now I can tell the frame rate is let me see. I'm running this with Oculus, so I don't have FPS VR to see what's going on. And it's got to be CPU usage. Close out of Discord. So GPU is like it's barely doing anything. I think I'm limited by CPU right now. Nothing else I can close. Like there's nothing happening in the game. It doesn't have a bunch of NPCs. Doesn't have a bunch of scripted events going on. But it wants to gobble up CPU. Right now it's not limited by the GPU. Close that, maybe that'll do something. Okay. So unsurprising, most of the legit negative reviews on this mention terrible optimization. You can outclose bad optimization. Best you can do is brace for frame dips. Geometry equals CPU. Well, I haven't had any issues with the performance until this third stream of the game. What was that mirror setting? I've had the mirror off, so I'm going to turn that off again. Now the FPS readout doesn't work. Okay, anyone leave any tapes around here? Yikes. And I'm clicking off of the game window again. Into the depths. Wow, that goes way down. Oh, what is happening? So, part of the issue with having a game like this that's just atmospheric exploration, self-guided, is based on what I have heard of this entity. I have no idea why the character would be doing this right now.
Finally. You came.
Karen? I'm in the light world, so how are you speaking to me? So the problem is you're probably in between two areas that are mostly all loaded right now. Once you proceed to either, it'll settle down again. Can't go back up the elevator? I don't know. So far, I've not seen any areas where I was not able to return. The exploration is pretty open. Oh no. We got some bad texture work going on here. But other than that,
So long.
it looks cool. So I remember she talked about in one of her letters to her children that she was tasked with building a walkway down here. I don't know how she built a walkway like this all by herself. There aren't any robots in this version of 1995.
So long.
And there were only 5 people here. Very impressive work there, Karen. The explosives. So it was... whose job was that? It was Vasily Romanchek's job to try and blow it up. Right here, something. She from the company that built that walkway in Florida. Considering I'm about to go over a massive chasm, I'm gonna sincerely hope not. There's no way. There's no way the 5-person team could have built all this. Whoa. Okay. Is the void closing in on me? It is. I will not tempt the void. Yep. So, I think there's no going back. Another hatch. The entity. What is this? Uh-oh. Karen? So I think we might be in one of this game's famous load sequences. Oh, that was not very long. The game takes a long-ass time to load, even though I've got it on SSD. It's like a 360 light show. Like Doctor Strange in here. Am I able to move? No movement. Whoa. Now we move. I think this is what Hyper Rogue would look like. Traversing the hyperplane. What is this? There's some trippy ass visuals. Slowed way down. Also, my FOV in this is smaller than normal for some reason. Okay, there's something on the outside of the constrained FOV. This is what I saw. The hell is this? Yeah, it looks like a galactic plane. See some ravines. Like that surface there it's not flat, it's got depth. With all the stars and nebula looking stuff. How the hell did they generate all these visuals? Whoa. Whoa. I've seen some VR experiences that do this kind of stuff, just crazy looking visuals in virtual reality. But this is way beyond any of those. Oh. What the hell is this now? Uh-oh. I'm headed back to Earth. I'm pretty sure the entity is with me. Yeah, I can see the glowy effect of it. The end. Yeah, the end of humanity. They said if this entity got out, we would be screwed. Alright, this is... After that visual extravaganza, it only makes sense that they'd have a cool looking credit sequence. That one dissipated before I could really read it. Quality assurance people could have done a little bit better job. Okay, I guess Accident District is a real group. So I missed 2 cassettes. Powered by Unity. The boys. There we have the loading. The voyage, what is that? I want to tell you, but I don't want to spoil. Good, thank you. Okay, so the entity ate you. Those texture mappings. So it's clearly what killed the crew. So I did miss some recordings somehow. I'm shocked that I could miss any other recordings with how thorough I was exploring everything, but there are just a few unanswered issues. More than a few unanswered issues, really. Don't really know what the nature of the entity is. There was one book, one of the many, many, many books in the game, and it mentioned the possibility that life in the solar system may have come from a source outside of the solar system. Maybe it could have something to do with that. But they leave a lot to the imagination with this one. So what is the voyage? Is that the trippy ass sequence at the end? Yep. Alright, exit to the menu. Nice that they let you play that again. That's an experience in and of itself. Considering that the game was released in, what, 2016? I think they probably didn't have the benefit of those excellent versions of Unity. They did the best they could with the primitive tech that they had available to them. But the game looks pretty damn good, even in 2020. That was a unique experience. Let me see. How did I do on achievements? Let me exit out of the game then. It's getting in the way. Seven more achievements. Key account manager. Find 3 keys. Why didn't I get credit for that? I'm afraid, Dave. Destroy the memory book. So I was looking for that, but I don't know what memory book that was. Find all Bertel figures. Force yourself into the vents. So I guess you gotta jump into that fan when it's still on. Found all the medical records. Watch the whole end scene and credits. Did that. The Wild Bunch. Collect all our ID cards. brown collar worker. Look what the cat dragged in. The greatest fan. I think I should have gotten credit for key account manager. You can't complete the game without that. I don't really know what happened with Karen. I think I saw her merge with the entity. She said that she was going to go down into the depths. She said that on one of the cassette tapes. And it looks like she did. And then somehow I got put into the entity along with her. Somehow we got back onto the capsule that I landed on Titan in. And took a trip all the way back to Earth with the entity in tow. Yeah. They leave a lot to the imagination with that one. Which is fine. It kind of fits the general approach of the game. Like the cassette achievement names. Yeah, those names. I just lost all internet there. So the cassette names are a reference to the fact that there's only a limited number of cassette tapes on Titan Base M. And the ones that you find in the light world are the pristine tapes with the original content on them. But the ones you find in the dark world, Karen had taken them and overwritten whatever was on them to leave her notes. So the taping killed music is her overwriting all the music tapes with her recordings. And then there's a little bit of a like a double meaning to it for the real world. Like, taping didn't kill the music industry, but yeah, they didn't like people being able to copy tapes, obviously. There's that little meaning to it. But I didn't get all the tapes. So even though I was planning on doing that, didn't do it. Also, I didn't know that was going to be the end of the game right there. But I think if I was to start from the beginning, I think the game would probably take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to finish, knowing what to do. It would be very short. So it'd be a very big mistake for someone to try and play this game and not read everything and not explore everything. They'd be missing the game. It doesn't have hardly any traditional gameplay. comment on piracy. I don't think it's a comment on that, but I think that it is a little bit of a reference if you want to expand what that achievement might refer to. Comes out it. Thanks for stopping by. This is one of the first VR games that I bought, and I had to abort it. This was back when I was still using the DK2. But this time around, I was able to figure out a way to deal with the issue that I had. And I was able to play it properly. So that's it. It's 2 a.m. Good night and goodbye.